Sweeping the floors open. Is that what it is?
Kinda.
It sounded like Jack Johnson.
It is Jack Johnson. It's Jack Johnson Flake.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one too.
Yeah. But yeah.
That was close.
Yeah, we could have just kept going with it.
That reminds me of college and all the pot that I used to smoke, and we would listen to Jack Johnson all day.
Me too, but I geeked out most of the time. So yeah, that was thank you for interrupting me. I was really just getting into it. But you got that one.
I was so excited. Finally, I knew one.
You got that one, and you didn't get Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire.
No, I'm not very good at that.
Megan, welcome back.
Thanks. Glad to be back. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I was worried that Dishner was going to do so well that I was just going to get replaced.
His actually was one of the most highest listened to.
It was really funny.
Podcasts. We also talked about the Squatty Potty. I think that might have something to do with it. And we had to pick 5.
It wasn't
winners.
the fact that you guys talked about dipping and smoking cigarettes.
We talked about that too, and we got a lot of feedback that people kind of like when we get raw and real like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So today is. We don't do these daily. I don't even know why I'm saying this, but today is December 3rd.
Yes, it is.
2015. Coming at you live with news today.
We've got a great show, and you're kind of nervous because we have a lineup that you haven't even looked at that I just created.
Yeah, because when you come in, I literally just say, just don't talk to me anymore. I will be the old Yenta that just shares my feelings.
Just comments on everything.
Comments on it, yeah.
Well, then let's start with you. What have you been up to? For those of us that don't follow you on Facebook, even though I do.
Don't follow me on Facebook or Snapchat. I've been Snapchatting a lot.
I'm going to join Snapchat just to find you.
I'm pretty funny. I'm not. I don't brag about anything in life except Snapchat. It's kind of R-rated, so don't look for me. But I'm fresh off a trip to the happiest place in the world.
The most magical place on earth.
The most magical place on the earth, Disney.
And it's the most Instagrammed place in Florida.
That's what you said.
Yeah. This was just.
What about California or no?
California, it's Disneyland.
Yeah, is it the most Instagram place in
California? Yeah, there was a whole list that I just read this morning. Yeah, Alaska, it's like Denali National Park. Illinois, it's Wrigley Field. It's like every single state, it lists the most Instagrammed location because on Instagram you can actually
What's Montana?
Make a location tag. Oh man, I'm gonna look it up right now because
this is a really good thing. Look it up.
I just saw this list this morning, and the Montana one is.
Why
beautiful.
wouldn't we talk about this instead of?
I don't know because there's so many good things to talk about. But go back to what you were saying.
Oh, go back to what I'm saying while you look this up. So we went to Disney World, happiest place on earth, and it really brings out the worst in people. It you look around. Even I went with my parents, and my dad was saying he was like, should people be smiling? Why are people not smiling? And one of those was me. I actually got grumpy. I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday morning, my wife turns into a machine when we go to the theme parks, and she literally has to do everything. And so, I like to marinate in the mornings. I like to get up, do a meditation, or have some coffee and just relax. But we went to bed pretty late the night before. And we had to go to the park early the next morning because we had to go see Mickey because we didn't have fast passes. So we had to be there, one of the first people to get in there. So we literally got to the park at like 8:30 before it even opens. And they're only letting select people in. We actually got to go in because we stayed at the resort the night before. And
you can do that early.
Yeah, and she's like, let's go see Mickey. And I'm like, I need coffee and I need something in my stomach right now. I was like, and I have my parents. I need to feed them too. I was like, don't forget about our daughter. We have to put food in her belly too.
It's really just Gina that wants to see Mickey early.
So I was like, do you just want me to go get coffee and food and just you can go to Mickey? And it was a whole big deal. It's like, you have to be there with Mickey. We have to see Mickey. I have to remind, it's really not Mickey Mouse. It's really not.
It's like some 24-year-old poor kid that's sweating.
But Mickey's really short. The Mickey I saw. Like literally like, I would say 4'11", like just small. Yeah.
Well, he's a mouse.
I would doubt that. I don't want to be stereotypical here, but I doubt if it was a man in there. I was probably a girl. Because it's like really, I put my arm around it's all creepy, like put my arm around for the picture and everything. And it's a pretty small person that's in there. Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about how heavy those costumes are. I think I've told you this.
The head's got to weigh like 15 pounds.
I think I've told you this before. When I was in my sorority in college, there was a girl who was working at Disney World, and she was working her way up to become Cinderella at Disney World. And when you want to become a character like that, they actually put you through a few years of almost like earning your keep there.
I'm sure you don't get to be Mickey when you first apply.
And so, and a lot of times, right, exactly. So they, she had to start out as being like one of the chipmunks for a long time.
The Chip and Dale.
And
that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, no, it was great. But the thing is, people want to be uncovered. You don't want to be in those kind of costumes. You want to be a character who's wearing like a dress or something like that. And she said that they are super heavy and they're really, really hot, but they have little built-in like portable air
conditioners?
conditioners. Yeah.
Oh.
Can you imagine doing that in the
No,
summer?
absolutely
In the summer?
not. No, absolutely not. So then
Having all kinds of creepy dads like you with your arms around you and like little kids crying everywhere.
It's funny. My dad, he said like his eye was itching like yesterday when he woke up in the morning and stuff. He was like, it's probably from all that evaporated human sweat in the air. That's all.
Oh God,
because it's still hot down
there.
here. It's still like mid 80s.
I'm sweating a little bit right now, to be honest.
I'll turn the fans on higher in a little bit. It's hot down here, but it was cool. So we went to Disney. We'll get to your list in a second because I see that you pulled it up. So the first day we went to the Magic Kingdom, and they're doing this Mickey's Magical Christmas Party.
For the holidays.
Yeah, and they give away free cookies and free hot chocolate. No free booze either. I don't know.
So unfair.
I just kept. I was like, "Where is the beer?" But Noah stayed up for all of it, and you stay for the parade. And
she doesn't get scared with the characters or anything.
No, she was the first time she met Mickey like a year ago. She was a little weirded out and stuff like that. But no, she she goes up and gives a hug. It is the cutest thing.
It is so cute.
I would say more than anything, not even so much the hugging. It's when she's sitting there just like waving.
Aww.
And she just kind of waving because she's like me. She's a little bit of a loner, so she's like she's sitting there like she's sitting on the ground like looking up at the people like going by the parade, just like waving. And she has like this kind of like it's like this.
She's so cute.
Yeah, so it's she likes it, and then she she'll have a breakdown 10 minutes later, and then she does the noodle arms where you try to pick her up, but you won't pick her up. But that was good. And then we woke up. And then the next day we went to Animal Kingdom, and that's
I've still never been there.
That's probably I've only been to 2, and I've been there 8 times, and I've only been to 2. But I like Animal Kingdom better. You're just able to see.
Did you see Rafiki, your buddy?
Yeah,
your
saw
buddy
Rafiki.
Rafiki.
We hung out for a little bit and saw Rafiki, and we get to see animals and all this types of thing. The coolest thing I saw though was the hippo. So there's this one part of the little safari walkthrough, and you're looking at a fish tank. I'm just looking at a fish tank, and all of a sudden, and I've been to that fish tank a couple times, and all of a sudden you see like this hippo walking underneath the water. I'm like, oh my God.
That photo was so cool.
And then I posted a picture on Facebook of somebody taking a selfie in front of the fish tank where the hippo was, and the hippo's right behind her. I don't know if she saw the hippo or she did, and she just thought it'd be a really cool, selfie thing. But the way that went, she would literally, and we could talk about this because I just hate the selfie generation, is she literally, I think she maybe saw the hippo. She was dressed nice. She was an attractive girl. She was with her boyfriend. And we walk up. I'm like, oh my God, there's a hippo. And she's like getting ready, like with her hand out like this. And
making the faces.
Puckering her lips, straightening her hair. And like you could even tell her boyfriend was kind of like he did not want to take the selfie. He like really wanted to take a picture of the hippo. And so he ended up not taking a selfie with her, but she then kind of sat down and kind of straightened it out. And the hippo was like right behind her, and she's like taking a selfie. And I'm thinking, there's an enormous sea/land creature behind you. Look at it. Don't worry about how.
It.
But she had like this tight little dress. It couldn't have been comfortable. She was dressed to the nines, makeup and everything.
It's like, what the hell are you doing at Disney World?
It's Disney, and there's like awesome hippo behind you. Turn the F around. But
that is a great photo, though. It's like very Inception. It's like a photo of a photo.
Yeah, very meta, as they say. So that was Disney. That was my Disney trip. It's so hard to eat healthy there too.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty loud.
You have to just allow it. You just have to let yourself go.
Yeah. Some people claim. I mean, they've done well. They have like little kiosks with like some gluten free and some other like poached salmon and stuff. But I don't know about eating fish at Disney. But
then it's probably farmed salmon anyways.
Whatever. Probably koi actually from the pond right behind them. I just can't get over like the. I'm going to go for a little rant here. Like, we see the character. I get, like, if you're grown-ups, you want to go to Disney to kind of see it and experience it. But I'm sitting in line, and there's, like, grown people, like 50-plus years old, with no kids, waiting to meet Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah.
Why? I want to break it to them, like, it's not real. They're not real. And people like, it's so exciting. I hate to be this old yenta about this, but
it's fun to go to. I went to Islands of Adventure earlier this year, the Universal Studios ones, and those are fun because you can ride the rides and the roller coasters and stuff.
I did not ride Dumbo.
You didn't go to Space Mountain? No, I guess she's too small for that.
She's too small. We did the funnest, most fun thing was It's a Small World,
which is amazing that the entire park gets renovated and that ride stays
it's
the same.
It's kind of cool though because it's
really cute,
so old, and it's so primitive. But
it really is. I mean, the toys, the way the characters are.
It's creepy too. I was Snapchatting on that, and your
dad was really enjoying himself.
He was. My
He's
dad,
so cute.
He loved it. But then I forgot to say this. We got stuck on the Little Mermaid.
This
one.
is my favorite story. You have to tell them.
We were sitting at like Little Mermaid and we're waiting in line. It got stuck and then they kind of reopened it and we're like right in the front. So I was like, do we leave or whatever? But Noah really wanted to do it. But Noah really wanted to ride with Gina, my wife, and my mom. And her grandmother. So we're sitting in line and I'm like, wait, it can only sit like really 2 people and like 1 kid. So it's Gina, Noah, and my mom, and my dad and I both look at each other. And so we get into this giant clamshell. It's just like 2 older dudes going through the Little Mermaid. And he was taking pictures. He loved it and everything. But it's not like an exhilarating ride. You're just kind of going through and looking at, whatevs. But it's, that was Little Mermaid. And I'm trying to think, there was like is there a quick one that we did? Oh, Aladdin. You get on Aladdin's magic carpet and you spin around in the air
fun.
and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't do any really grown-up rides or anything. So
because you're a parent now.
It's
not about you anymore.
It's not about me. Not about me at all. Yeah, so that's been my 10-minute spiel on my last 2 days at Disney. What?
Well, I just found that article.
Going back to our article, did it take you 10 minutes before that? No. So Montana, I just randomly asked about Montana.
Okay, so this is actually a really cool article if you want to look for it, ladies and gentlemen.
Just go through all 50 right now.
It's from Time Magazine. It's online. It's called The Most Instagrammed Places in America. And the most Instagrammed place in Montana is Glacier National Park. Isn't that pretty?
That it? Oh, wait, your phone's
broken. Look through
broken.
the scratched phone.
Yes, your phone's broken.
Still broken.
What about Pennsylvania? I was born right outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
What's Pennsylvania?
Let's see. I have to go in. It's a slideshow, so
you gotta keep scrolling.
I'm in the O's now. Hang on. We're almost there. PNC Park.
PNC Park is where they play baseball. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of them were baseball stadiums.
Sports stadiums.
Oregon is beautiful too. That's Multnomah.
You say Oregon or Oregon?
Oregon.
Oregon. Okay.
Is Multnomah Falls.
What is I spent a lot of time in North Carolina.
Okay. Oh, the PNC Music Pavilion.
Huh.
That's interesting. That's kind of like a wah-wah.
Yeah, wah-wah.
I was hoping it'd be something prettier, like mountains or something.
People.
Well, I was in one of the prettiest places in Florida a week and a half ago. I was in Isla Mirada.
Oh,
the site of the Alternative Daily annual retreat.
Yeah.
It was so fun. I went down there. One of my girlfriends that lives in California, she lived here for about 8 years and then moved back 4 years ago. And she hadn't been to Florida or Miami, I should say, in 4 years. She's one of my closest friends. She came down just before Thanksgiving. And so, she's perhaps one of my most like adventurous, outgoing. She's super outdoorsy. I mean, she lives out in California, so her and her fiance go on a bunch of, biking trips and camping and this and that. So I was so excited to have her because she wasn't one of those people that was super concerned with like hitting every restaurant, every club.
Perfect.
She wanted to go
There's
down.
no clubs. In Miami.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She wanted to go down to the Keys. She wanted to go on a bike ride. She wanted to do all those sorts of things. So that's like my kind of guest totally because that's what I like to do. So we went down to Isla Mirada and we just did like 2 days down there. It was really, really nice. It was beautiful, actually. We had kind of that one day where there was no rain.
Yeah.
And we did very traditional, like Isla Mirada. So we stayed at a place called Amara Cay.
Which used to be the Hampton Inn.
Which had a scary, like, Outback restaurant attached to it.
That's exactly where I had my...
It's not like that at all.
That's where I had my bachelor party.
Really?
Yeah, we had dinner at that Outback.
I've been to that
Of
Outback.
all places.
No, I've been to that Outback. It was on, like, the water, I remember.
It was on the water, yeah.
So the whole place, you would go crazy if you saw how beautiful they made this this renovation. It's absolutely gorgeous. So we did that. We did, like, sunset at Murata Bay and had dinner there. And then she wanted to go paddleboarding, which she's only been paddleboarding a few times. And, it's like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, you do it in your sleep.
I love it. So we went just a little bit up. We headed a little bit more north to Tavernier.
Yep.
And we went on a paddleboarding trip. And just the two of us, we rented boards from this, guy that has a shop right on the Intercoastal. And
Was he dreamy?
He was.
He wasn't like that typical. Like
he wasn't like a hot paddleboarding guy. No, he was like an older
like
guy.
Like we guys just leave your lives just to hang out with.
No, where I was gonna run away with him. No, he was like the kind of guy that like is probably born and raised in Key West. He's like probably got like a 40-ounce behind the counter.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing. No, I mean that is kind of what I would maybe like to just throw it all away and say fuck it and do. So we paddled out. He was kind of telling us, all right, how adventurous are you guys? And of course we're like, oh yeah, we're so adventurous. He's like, how experienced are you? And of course I'm like talking shit. I'm like, oh, I'm so experienced. Like, don't worry, we're really good. Like we might seem small, but we're really strong. Talking all this shit. And he goes, okay, well then instead of paddling out into the ocean, head west and go through the Keys and go to the mangroves and everything. And he's like, it's going to be a little bit of tough current, but because there was wind, but you'll be all right if you can go through the current. He showed us a map, which if you're showing me a map.
Did he go with you or no?
No, this was like, just go. So he's showing us a map. And he's like, all right, here's what you have to do. And he's pointing, go this way. And when you see this block of trees, make a right. I mean, when you show me a map, you might as well just be showing me Mandarin. Like, I have no idea. So I was just relying on my girlfriend. We ended up paddling out, and I posted a photo of this to the Alternative Daily Instagram. So we paddled out into these mangroves, and the guy basically said, if you paddle through the mangroves and keep going, you will make it to like a secret lagoon. And he goes, here's the deal. The mangroves get really, really thick. At some points, you're just going to end up pulling yourselves through the mangroves. Like, put your paddle on your board with you. You won't even need it.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're after 3 times where you say you definitely think you should give up, that you can't go any further. That's when you'll know you're close.
Oh.
So we were like a little bit nervous.
This is like a pirate
I'm telling you,
thing.
I was thinking about you. This was so something that you would love to do. So we paddle out, really strong current. We're like almost totally worked by the time we get to the place. We turn down. We're like, okay, I think this is like the set of trees, So we go through. It's beautiful, and it's not even that deep. And
are you really like trying to paddle?
When we got through the current, we were really trying. Like, there were a couple times I didn't even think we'd make it to the entrance to this mangrove tree.
Okay.
And but we made it through, and so then we're like paddling through, and it was crazy because it was like, if you can picture like being in a forest on a paddleboard, it was like it got thicker
so you
and
knew,
thicker.
Like, you found the place
thicker.
you were supposed to go.
Yeah, like I have to show you these photos, and if you want to see a photo, you can go to the Alternative Daily.
So you get to the entrance of this,
and so we're paddling.
Does it look like an entrance, or you're like, I have to go through this wall?
No, it looked like a little bit of an entrance, like something that we might end up paddling through.
Oh.
So you see, that's how it was. Like, it got to a point after about 15, 20 minutes. I'm wearing my Alternative Daily hat. It got to a point where, like, after
15
to
20 minutes of that?
Yes. And then at some points, we were practically laying down on our boards to get through it.
Were you paddling kind of like on a surfboard type of deal? Okay.
Like paddling on a surfboard, or just like holding the mangroves and pulling us through. And then we got to this entrance.
It just opened up?
It just opened up
into
a giant, it opened up into a giant, beautiful open space, and there was nobody there, and it was
awesome.
So pretty. So this was in the center
It'd be
of
great.
it.
It was like a nudist beach,
right? Wouldn't it be crazy? Or there was like a bar or something.
Oh wow!
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So it was really, really quite adventurous, and I probably, had I not been with my girlfriend Becky, probably wouldn't have even thought to do something like that.
Wow!
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
So it was a really fun experience, and she's just a good friend that is the kind of friend that sort of encourages you to.
As you went back, you
that.
Obviously caught the current, so it was a lot easier.
Oh, on the way back, we just sat there
Cruised,
practically.
yeah.
We just cruised there.
That's also, it kind of reminded me of one of my favorite movies.
Which one?
I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Okay.
It's called The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio.
You know what's funny is I saw the movie and I've read the book before, and I thought that it would be like that. I mean, that's scary. You don't want it to be like that, but
well, I get the whole idea of the movie. It's like, trying to create this perfect utopian society, but they do some
nothing's
bad stuff.
perfect.
Yes, but nothing's perfect. Yeah.
That is a great movie, by the way. The book is really twisted too, but that's taking me back.
I need to. Maybe I'll have Noah watch it one time.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's a good education for her. Disclaimer: don't show your children the movie.
It kind of talks about the utopian society but how nothing can be perfect, and they live in this awesome, beautiful place.
That shark attack scene when I was younger gave me nightmares.
Man.
So that's what I've been up to. And then after my girlfriend left and went back to California, I was so inspired to be like outdoorsy that a couple of days ago, instead of going to the
wooden shed.
Instead of going to the gym, I went on a 27-mile bike ride.
Oh, really?
And not even on like a bicycle that's probably built for 27 miles.
So did you do like in your beach cruiser?
Yeah, I run on my beach cruiser from South Beach all the way down over the 395 highway, all the way through.
Why would you go there?
There's a bike path all the way downtown to Key Biscayne, and then up and over the Rickenbacker Causeway. It was beautiful, but it was intense.
So you don't go I would just go north and south like on the
No, I ride up and down South Beach all the time. This was
so everybody's like, oh, Megan.
Right, I'm like waving, like ding ding with my bell.
Oh, that's funny.
No, this was like I was getting down.
And this is the day after Thanksgiving? Now,
and then I went home and had leftovers.
No, on Thanksgiving, did you work out?
Yes.
You did?
I did work out.
Did you go to the gym?
I went to the gym.
How many hours were you there?
I was only there for an hour because I had a turkey in the oven. I hosted Thanksgiving.
Are you trying to tell us something?
I have a turkey in the oven. I did work out.
So you did work out. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Gym was packed.
Oh, I do have to tell this.
Gym was crazy packed on Thanksgiving.
I hate to bring it back to me, but
let me bring it back to me.
I'm going to bring it back to me. On Thanksgiving.
Where did you guys go, by the way?
my parents' house, which is like 3
Oh my
streets
gosh!
away.
How did you make the drive?
So we woke up in the morning. It was really nice. We went to the park, took Noah. She went on the swings, walked around the lake, and everything. It was awesome. And then we decided we were gonna get lunch. We went to one of my favorite restaurants.
Wait, you went out for lunch on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, but it's kind of cool. I was like, maybe we can start this tradition because it's like my favorite restaurant where I know the bartender.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I know the waiter. He's kind of like the owner too. It's the type of place I think I've probably talked about it a million times. You walk in and like he has a beer ready for me every single time I come in. It's so awesome. And so I was like, and they serve like an awesome like breakfast lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, it's really eclectic food too. And so Gina was like, well, let's just go there. She's like, I know that we're going to have turkey later, and we're going to beat your parents. We'll be there for a long time. Let's just kind of go there. And so we got there, and I was like, I have a predicament. This is an internal battle to have going on. And she said, what? And I was like, it's my favorite restaurant. Every time they have great craft beer, like any type of craft beer that you want. I was like, it's noon. At that point, it's like 11:30. It's 11:30. It's a day off. I was like, but I really want to go for a run later, but I really want to have a beer at this place. And she was like, well, why don't you just have a beer and go for a run?
No.
And I've always hated that. Like, and like people can do it. So we went there. And so I was like, maybe I'll just get something light like the tuna salad, but I'll definitely get a beer and just kind of play it by ear. So we watched the Macy's Day Parade there. We were right by the TV so Noah could see Santa on the TV. And
I watched it too.
I had my tuna salad and I had my beer. And I felt good after that. And so came home. And it's probably like an hour. I gave myself like an hour to kind of like digest. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for a run. It felt good. Mile 1. So I run 4 miles now.
That's great.
And I've been enjoying running, listening to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that. And I've still been doing my weight training. So I did weight training today. So I did, ran 4 miles. And I've been pushing my ass. I've been pushing hard to break a 30-minute 4 mile.
Wow,
And
that's
so,
really cruising.
So when I first started kind of getting back into running like a month ago, I was probably like an 8:15, 8:30 mile.
This is because you grew up playing soccer.
And so I've gotten it down now to where like a 7:45 mile, right? So to break 30, I mean, it's easy. It's just like 7.5 minute miles that you have to do.
Oh, so easy.
And so, and I use Map My Run, and it tells me, what my split is. So I'm running my first one, and I'm like, fuck, I feel good. I'm going to drink a beer before everyone. I'm feeling awesome. And so mile 1, it's like pace 7 minutes, 26 seconds. And usually how my paces go, it's like longest is 4, it's shorter 3, shorter 2, and then 1, and then I'm sorry. The first mile it takes me the longest. Third mile.
Wow.
First mile takes me longest. Second mile takes me I'm quicker. Third mile I'm quicker. I get better as each mile goes on. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So I'm 7:26. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna crush this thing. Mile and a half goes by. I get to my mile 2 and I'm like, oh, I'm getting kind of tired. It's like 7 minutes and 7 seconds. So I kind of like broke it. I mean, I kind of like lost a step, and I was like, I'm still on pace. I turned around and started running back to the way. And this is like where I'm running is like beautiful. There's like, it's the beach and everything. About, I would say, a quarter mile into mile 3, I immediately start regretting the tuna salad that I ate. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I'm going to stop because I'm either going to keep running and throw up or I'm going to have to stop. And I'm literally having a battle in my head. I'm like, as I'm running, I'm like, should I throw up now or should I stop? Should I just walk by? I really want to get 4 miles and I'm going to eat a lot later. So I'm having this internal battle. I'm listening to music and I can't zone in the music. I'm just thinking, I'm like, I can feel my belly sloshing around. I'm like, oh. So and then I don't know, like mile 3 hits, and I'm like, I'm gonna just like fall over. I should probably stop. I was like, but let me at least just power through like a couple more steps. And so what I started doing was I just started looking like straight ahead, and just straight. I was like, let me get to that point. And then once I actually got through mile 3 and kind of like, and I was like, this is it. I'm at towards the end, and so I like sprinted towards the end, and I missed. I was off by like 4 seconds for breaking. I had my best run.
While you wanted to die the whole time.
I wanted to die the entire time. And the entire time I'm thinking, I'm like, I think there was mayonnaise in that tuna salad. I think I can feel it in my stomach right now. Oh, but I did it well. And then I went to a friend's house and, we had a beer and, for Thanksgiving.
You should train for something.
No, so I have all my one of my Dishner.
Because he likes to run.
Dishner's pretty basic though.
He's listening to this.
He is, and he's gonna yell.
He's gonna text you.
He did the whole turkey trot thing, and then he did Black Friday, and he's doing Elf on the Shelf, and so I was like, you're so basic. But it's
It's called being a good family man, damn it.
No, he's a great family man. But he sent me his turkey trot time. So I sent him my 4 mile time. I was like, crushed it. I was like, I want to throw up the whole time. But I don't like, my dad asked me, he was like, why don't you do like, those 5Ks or, the turkey trots or whatever. The problem with me is I have an uncanny competitive spirit where I haven't figured out how to harness it yet, because if I enter one of these things, in my head, I'm going to win it. I don't care. I'm going to throw everybody. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do what I can to be number one. And that's not good. I'm still trying to figure out a way to harness
Maybe
my
you should do like
spirit.
a marathon then, or like a half marathon.
No, because I will still do the same thing. Like I will literally just be pushing people.
You'll
up
have
the
like
finish
Gina
line.
pick you up in the car halfway down.
Yeah, I'm still figuring, because my competitive spirit is what got me through, high school and college sports and allowed me to be so, do so well. But at the same time, I was a terrible person while doing it. So I don't want to bring that into my adult life. It's I find myself at times getting very competitive about things.
That's funny.
And like another example is this has gone into competitive talking and competitive nature. We were playing, is it Hearts? It's a game of like hearts with cards. We were playing with me, Gina, and Gina's mom, and they've like. It's not counting cards, but you can figure out like what card's coming next, and I never played before. And so I noticed that they were just like destroying me. And so I finally, and this was probably 6 or 7 years ago, we were living in 10 years ago, we were living in Gina's dad's house at the time. And I stormed out. I was like, this is it. I'm done. I can't. I was like, you guys are cheating. And I went up and went to bed. And like it was
That's
terrible.
so funny.
Yeah, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Okay, so maybe not training for something is better.
No, to answer that question,
Better to
no.
just do it just because you like it.
No, well, I like it, and I'm training against myself, so I'm trying to beat myself.
All right, well,
But
that's good to
also,
be competitive.
I'm not. And here's another thing too: is it's not like I go out every single time I try to get 30. I've learned that like that's just going to burn me out. Like, because if I get 30, then what do I have to do to break 29? And I'm not going to be a competitive a competitive runner. So I have kind of a goal. I'll break it, and then I'll probably go back because I just like listening to podcasts and books now. And when I went through kind of that kind of transition in life where I was doing a lot of I still do a lot of meditation, but like where like my life was changed, I was running every day 4 miles on the beach or on the walkway, listening to different books and podcasts and stuff like that. And so it's kind of got me back into that groove. I'm not listening to as much deep stuff anymore, because I'm kind of listening to some other things because it's just kind of what I'm into right now. But it's cool because like those 30 minutes or whatever go by so quickly because I'm so wrapped up.
That's
into
great.
what's in my ear.
That's the best part is like sometimes I get excited when I go to the gym if I have like a new playlist or a new CD or something to listen to, because then I'm like, okay, I can just stay here and one more song.
Well, the funny thing is I loved running and stuff to music. But Thanksgiving Day, like I turned on one of my favorite. It's an album that one of my favorite bands put out on Thanksgiving, and so they talk about Thanksgiving on it, but it's not Thanksgiving songs. They just mentioned it.
And it's not OAR?
It is OAR.
Oh, I know it.
and so I'm listening to
It's
it.
not one of your favorite bands.
And
it is.
I could not get into it because one, my stomach was kind of like sloshing around, but like I think it's just one of those like I think I just wanted to listen to something. But I got through it.
Good for you.
But yeah, so that's
all this working out and running. You're gonna need to buy some new T-shirts. Getting so buff.
I have to go from a large to a medium now. Yeah, so that's so I don't even know how we got there.
I love that. We have no idea where we go from here. Oh, a ukulele thing that I want to tell you.
Yes.
Something really cute. So my girlfriend, that her name's Becky, the one that was just visiting, she just recently got engaged to a really wonderful, wonderful guy. And engagements these days, some people, if you ever see things on YouTube, I have to give props to guys out there that, they plan these elaborate engagements and like these surprise proposals. I mean, there are some things out there where it's not necessarily my style. And I think my poor boyfriend would have a heart attack if he ever even thought that I wanted something like that. But Becky's fiance was really cute. And he, planned this whole thing, and he had a GoPro, and he like set it up and was like secretly recording her while he proposed to her. But they started it because they went out to the beach to like hang out. They live in Santa Monica. And he was sitting there and he's like messing around on his ukulele. And he starts like making up a song and made up a song and proposed to her in a song with the ukulele.
Was it impromptu, or did he already? Oh no, you said he had the GoPro, so he planned it.
Yeah, he had like planned like singing some or messing around, and I guess he was just like you, just sort of strumming around on his ukulele.
How do you envision your head getting engaged?
Oh God. I don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I probably just like at
like
home.
on a bed of roses.
Yeah,
and stuff.
right. Please. You've met my boyfriend. I don't think he could. I love him, but I can't imagine him executing something like that.
Ah, there's a hint.
No, that's not what I want.
Bed.
Yeah, right. With candles everywhere and a warm bath that's drawn. No, I would probably throw up. Not that, I mean, that's for some people. That's just not for me. I imagine like Colin like proposing over like a plate of nachos or something.
No, he won't do that.
It'll be pizza.
My way I.
How did you do it?
Yeah, we
put you on the spot.
It was about I think 6.
Did you have long hair?
No, I was fighting it then, so I decided to shave it shortly thereafter. My wedding photos, I'm kind of bald in, but I was a lot heavier.
Yes,
and
that's true.
We had just bought a house, and we were renovating it, and I think it was like a couple weeks after we literally just like bought it, and we were still doing some stuff to it, and we went out to. I called Gina's mom to ask her for her hand in marriage. That's
nice.
And then I also called Gina's dad as well, and they both said yes. And
they're like, well, you bought a house, I guess.
Yeah, and so I knew I was going to do it one day, and then like I had everything like set up, and I told Gina's mom I'm going to do it tonight, and I forget what happened. Gina was either out for work or she just came back. She was sick, is what it was. I remember, and so I sent a text, and I was like, it's not happening tonight. And so like the next day she felt a lot better, and so we were. I told her we were going to meet her dad and his wife, who's not Gina's mom. We're going to meet them for dinner. So we met them for dinner because they just wanted to come down and everything. And so we were talking to them, and I told them, that was the night. And it's so funny because in the middle of talking to, about just kind of, I forget what we were talking about. Like Gina had said something like, well, the honeymoon's over with us and blah, blah, blah. It's just kind of, because we'd been dating for like 7 years. And they were talking about somebody, and Gina just like casually said that the honeymoon phase was over. And I was like, here I am with like the ring in my pocket. And I'm like, oh my God. And then so we leave, and Gina's dad and his wife get in the car. And so I was in my Jeep or something like that. And I was like, I got to go ask them something real quick about, their house. And so I ran over to their house, to their car. I was like, I just want to show you. I'm going to do it. I just want to show you the ring. I showed him the ring, like, oh my God, Jake, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, got to go. She's going to think something of it. So on the way home, Gina's like, I just want to go to Home Depot. She's like, let's just get, I was like, no, let's just stop by the beach. She's like, I really want to go to Home Depot. There's some things I want to buy. And like the ring's in my pocket. I'm like, please, I don't want to go to Home Depot. Let's take the night off. So we get down to the beach. It was beach access 16. Which Gina and I always kind of had this number of like 16 and 61 for some reason. And we go down, and she's like, oh, it's nice. And I was like, well, let's walk down to the beach. She was like, no, it's fine up here. I was like, let's walk down to the beach. And so we walked down to the beach, and we're sitting there, like, and we're kind of still like on like the deck or whatever, looking down at the beach. I was like, let's go stand over there. It's so nice. You can see the moon and everything. She's like, I don't want to get my feet sandy. I'm like, I literally picked her up. I was like, let's go stand. So I picked her up, and I went to put her down. It was like, there was like a dog pooping over there. And I'm like, this is not working out the way I thought. Turned around the other way and walked down that way. And so we were sitting there talking, and like I remember, like I hadn't rehearsed what I was gonna say. I was just gonna wing it, and I just started saying stuff like, we've been together for a very long time, blah, blah. And like I went blank, and then I got on my knees, and she's like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, what are you talking about? And she was like, you fell down. I'm like, no, I didn't fall. I mean, and then I started rolling it, and then I kind of, so I was like, I forget the words I said, but I was like, and then I said, will you marry me? And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah. I was like, will you marry me? And she's like, oh my gosh. And I was like, you have to say something. It's like, will you marry? And she said yes. And then,
and the rest,
then
as
the
they
rest
say,
is history. But it was such a chore to get her, in the position.
She was like so not expecting it.
Oh my God.
I would be the same way. Colin and I always joke. He's like, if I ever, did something like make you breakfast in bed, you'd probably just know I was going to do it.
Well, she knew. Well, she wanted to be part of the whole ring process, so she knew it was happening at some point because she had picked out like the ring she wanted and everything. And then it's funny when she picked it out, she's like, "Okay, it's done. Now surprising." I'm like,
oh great.
Oh great. So I do remember it was like the week before she'd actually asked me. She's like, "Did you ever, do you ever follow it up with the ring?" And I was like, "We're still going back and forth with it. I have something. I already had it." And I was like, "We're still going back and forth with it." Blah blah blah. It was, yeah. It's a lot of anxiety comes up out of that too. It's like just planning that whole thing.
That's so funny. It's so cute.
Oh my god.
It's nice to see when guys get nervous about something like that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's how I propose.
So isn't it amazing then when you see things like on YouTube where guys do like these flash mobs or these crazy elaborate proposals and all that? It's like,
oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's
how
and that's not us
insane.
either. We
That's
don't
not.
like flashy stuff like that. If he did something like that for you, what would you do?
I think I would just be, I would love him and be, appreciate the thought and the effort. But if it was some crazy big elaborate proposal that you see like those ones on YouTube and stuff, I would be so embarrassed, like that kind of attention. I would be so excited and appreciative that he would do something like that, but I can't even imagine him doing something
you
like
want that. Colin,
if you're listening, get the flash mob. Ready the flash mob.
Oh my God. Yeah. So again, I don't know how we got to that one either.
I know. I love this. But this is actually a good way to sort of move on to the next thing, which is the first topic. So I really wanted to talk about this first topic here. There was an article that was posted. I'm going to get it up right now. And it was also posted. Wow, time is really leading our podcast today. It was posted on December 1st, so 2 days ago on time.com. And the title of the article is 40% of young adults who live on their own still get money from parents. And the article talks about...
Does it say what age up until?
Let me get
sorry.
there. The article talks about an independent study that was conducted that shows that over 40% of young adults between the ages of 25 and 32 who don't live at home still receive some sort of financial help from their parents. And it was actually a study that was done at North Carolina State University, where my boyfriend went to school, who examined the relationship between parent-child cohabitation and financial support. They found that attending a 4-year institution for college makes people more likely to rely on mom and dad, especially those from higher socioeconomic backgrounds. Young college grads don't just benefit from financial support. Those who receive financial aid are also more likely to live with their parents post-graduation than those students who paid for school on their own. I think that's very interesting because I read something like this, and I know I was joking with you beforehand. I was very fortunate. I had a scholarship, to college, and my dad and my mom didn't deny me anything that I wanted when I was in college. But literally, I graduated at 21 the day I left college, because I'll never forget. I drove home from Tallahassee with like my car all packed up. The day I got home, I remember my dad like asking me, "Oh yeah, honey, do you have the gas card?" Because I had like a credit card and a Shell gas card, and he's like, "Yeah," and I said, "Yeah, it's in my wallet." And he got that in the credit card. He's like, "All right, you're done."
Wow.
And it was
good
like
for him.
Now I can say that I appreciate that 7 years later.
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry, but I was really very It was a big adjustment, because I literally went from being, I suppose in a lot of ways, probably very spoiled. I've worked since I was 16, so I've always had a job where I made my own money, but certainly not, enough to support myself. And then I literally immediately, just like that, was thrust into.
And then where'd you live?
I had to live with my dad for a year. I had to find a job. And
what was your first job?
My first job was the job that I had for like 3.5 years. It was when I was working at a local television network in Miami Beach.
Gotcha.
And so it was amazing, because it made me work so hard. And then now I have the career that I have because of that. But it's so interesting when I see an article like that where I'm right in the middle of that study. The study is 25 to 32-year-olds. I'm 28. And I'm thinking, oh my God, 40% of people, even if they don't live at home, are getting money from their parents. And my boyfriend, neither one of us get anything from them. I certainly have not. But I do have, for different situations, a couple different of my closest friends that either do still get supported in some ways financially by their parents or live with their parents now. And I'm just so different from that I've always felt like, oh, I must, I'm the norm. They're not. Yeah. And then I read a study like this, and it's, 40%. It shows that it's a really big growing trend.
So people 32 ages
25 to 32
are still getting money from their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it was saying that people that get
now,
money.
what does that mean by getting money? Does that mean
it just says financial aid. So that, you could think of that in a number of different ways. Maybe they help them pay their rent or their car, or maybe they get, it could be anything. But the idea behind the study was that there are kids and there are people, and I shouldn't even call them kids, young adults that are being supported. When you're 30, 31, 32, you're not a young adult. You're a fucking adult. Excuse me. You know what I mean?
You're a grown-ass man.
You're a grown-ass person. Like, you have kids if you're married. But I understand because I'm, whereas maybe I would like want to judge somebody for that or think less of them. I am close with people that now have to, in some ways, for different situations, maybe a job changing or moving or whatnot, are now living with their parents or are getting support from their parents in some financial way. And so it made me, because I'm now affected by it, because I care about people that I don't see as being lazy or being, spoiled. But it's interesting that it's that many people.
Yeah. It has to do with also living outside your means too. Even at the young age, you don't know that you're doing that. We did the same thing, between, Gina's dad helped us out a little bit and my parents helped us out a little bit. But there comes a point, like ours was never cut and dry like that. But it came a point where we kind of essentially just took on all of our own expenses. Which is fun, right? Which is, really nice. And, it's scary too at the same time. Yeah. It's being a parent now, if let's say we flash forward and she's 28 and she's like, you know what, I just lost my job. I can't pay my rent for I have 3 or 4 months left and blah, blah, blah. It's hard as a parent to say, I'm sorry, tough shit.
Yeah. Right.
So and if I have the financial means, I'm obviously going to try and help out the best way that I can. I'm not saying that, giving the money for that is the right way or whatever it is. But, I think with the way that your dad did it was cool because he taught you a lesson, but he gave you a place to stay.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So he says, I'm not paying for your gas anymore, but
you
can stay
figure
here.
it out. Right.
And I think, and some people don't have that thing. Some people they have to be on their own. They're able to make it too. In our situation, I think it was kind of, we had some help, but then it was also, but here's the way of the world too. Here's how you actually have to make it out on your own, which I think is great. I wish everybody had that, but some people just kind of can't do it. But again, I go back to being the father, and it's hard. It's hard for me now to put her in timeout. Sometimes it's actually pretty easy. But the other day she was in timeout for 20 or 30 minutes. And
Did you feel bad?
Well, she started screaming, "Water, water! I want water!" I'm like, am I being played right now? It's is she in jail? If I don't give her water, is she going to be okay? And she was going to be okay. It took me a while. I literally sat there oh my God, should I give her water? And it's almost the same thing, which is because we know dramatic people in life, and there's people that don't necessarily need water to survive, but they're screaming they need water, or whether it's money, etc. And so I was kind of in that conundrum. I was like, wait a second, let me stop for a second. I saw her. She was sipping on stuff earlier. She's just pissed right now. She doesn't want to be in timeout, so she doesn't need water right now. And it's kind of the same thing, which is, yes, I know that my kid, probably could use a few extra bucks, but it's because they want to live, in a nice high rise
in Manhattan,
or Miami and stuff like that. And maybe they just don't need that water right now. So it's hard to say a blanket statement. And that's something I'm learning too, is there's no blanket statements for, for
being
things
a parent.
For being a parent. It's not just throwing her timeout every time this happens. That's not necessarily true. So
there's a gray area.
There's gray areas, and it's, in every situation, you just have to look at all the facts. And I hate to sound so kind of vague and dad like, but yeah, we got a little help, but it was apparent. We just also knew because of our upbringing that we can't live off this for the rest of our life.
Right, of course.
Yes, we have a house over our head. And we're eating food, and this is great. But and this is back when I literally was making. I think my first job I was making $24,000 a year.
Oh my God, that's so funny. My first job I was making $23,000, and I thought I was rich.
I did too.
I was getting checks for $900 going, oh my God.
My very first job that I got, and after they paid me, I ran upstairs to tell Gina, I was like, oh my God, I'm rich. There's $900 in my bank. I've never had $900 in my bank account. I was like, this is amazing. So I went out and bought kayaks. And so right and drained. Right? So I had to learn it the hard way. And so back then I couldn't eat, and not that I was interested, but we couldn't eat at Whole Foods and we couldn't eat all these things. So, cooked and stuff like that. But if there was family in town, we went out and, to see if we could get dinner with them. But I do the same thing for other people. I'm just kind of, if people come in town or if we have family and friends, I'm just always,
You're a very generous person.
I'm not, this is not a pat on Jake's
I'm
back.
saying it.
Thank you. But this is not what I'm saying. But I just I want people to feel comfortable and just kind of not worry about it. So, hopefully it pays itself forward. But
Noah, you're going to have to get a job.
What's that?
I said, Noah, you're going to have to get a job.
Tomorrow. You have to get a job tomorrow.
Start paying off those preschool
or
classes.
maybe we'll just start putting her in kind of like the modeling for little kids, and then, or what really bothers me too is these kind of like YouTube parents that like make their
kids like a star.
Yeah.
That's. Well, I mean, if the kids are talented, YouTube is a platform where people are
this is
getting
gonna be
out
somewhere different because you're like an on-air
there.
personality,
I know.
right?
I'm like counting on it one day.
So you have, let's say, like a 6-year-old who's like reciting lines and like doing stuff on YouTube for like YouTube fame. Don't you think they should be like out just getting dirty and, and not worrying about like making a video?
Well, I don't think the kids should be worried. Yeah, I think there's a problem when the parents treat it like the kids have a job or they have like an audience. But if the kids like to do it.
Well, if Noah, let's say Noah's in there picking her nose and flicking it, and I'm taking a video of it, and it becomes.
What are you watching on YouTube?
I'm just making something. That's all I know with boogers right now. Okay, it's the most disgusting thing. Driving in the car and I have to like take a booger out of her finger and flick it out the window. It's the gnarliest thing. But let's just say that's the funniest thing, and for some reason I upload it to Facebook and it gets like millions of views, right? That I think is fine. But if you're like, okay, Noah, we're gonna do that again, but make sure you flick it this way and and say this cute thing, blah blah blah. I think that there's something wrong with that. Like, what being an on-air personality and somebody as famous as you are and actress as you are, like, at what age should like? And you look at all these like child actors that haven't turned out well. Like, what age?
Like Macaulay Culkin.
What age should they be able to turn it on and turn it off?
I mean, I think that if the kids seem to be enjoying it and it's not hurting them or affecting them being in school, then I think it's okay. Because not every kid's going to be born an athlete that's going to run around outside.
No, I get that. That's what I'm thinking too, because she's in a soccer class.
But then it's like, are you going to say to the parents who put their kids in the soccer camps and all of that then go to school all day and then have to practice? Right. But was that like a detriment to you?
I didn't necessarily love it. there were times when I was like, I just really want to go.
You were born and needed to be an adult.
I kind of just wanted to go home and like hang out in a treehouse. And my parents are going to kill me. But I enjoy playing soccer and stuff like that. But sometimes I didn't want to, right?
Right. Well, that's
But of course,
normal.
and that's I had a discipline that I had to keep doing and everything. But I don't know. I mean, but performing like for YouTube and stuff like that.
I don't know. It's not even in our wheelhouse. It's a generation that's so different now. I mean, imagine how it'll be in 5 years from now.
Because what they're doing is like you have like a 5 or 6 year old creating this personality that is not them, that's out there on the internet. Like, I don't think that's right for the brain. I'm getting old. I'm getting old.
You're getting old.
Jeez.
But you're on Snapchat, so you're cool.
I'm pretty good in Snapchat.
So here's something really funny. The next topic that I wanted to talk about, which I think is really cool. And it relates to you in the sense that, so Noah is your daughter's name, and it's spelled Noa. And she's the only Noah I know. I don't even know any boy Noahs.
With an H or
just
any?
In general.
Okay.
And so I've always thought, that's like her. Can we say her middle name too?
Sure.
Noah Kai.
Yeah.
How do you spell Kai?
Kai.
So her name is Noah Kai. So I love that. Like, I think that's really cool.
6 letters, first and middle name, easiest thing.
Yeah, it's so easy, and it sounds nice together. Even Noah Kai, but as you see out there, I mean, a lot of us, if we see things, in the news or on tabloids or whatnot, it seems like, celebrities have crazy names for their kids, but it's not just celebrities. It turns out that every December, Baby Center, which is a website and a corporation, they release.
I'm well aware of that.
You're aware.
Once you get pregnant.
Oh, I'm like Baby Center, some
you
company.
You will be on Baby
know.
Center They show what your baby is at 5 weeks.
Is like, your baby's a grapefruit.
Yes, that's Baby Center. You'll be familiar with that.
All right, slow down, maybe one day.
Especially with that turkey in the oven.
You're going to have a turkey in the oven. Every December, Baby Center releases its list of the top baby names for the year. And it's really, really funny for the year 2015. Some of the top names are actually the names of filters on Instagram.
No.
Yes.
Like sepia?
No. Like Amaro.
What?
Hudson.
I don't even know what these are.
Juno and Lux. Lux.
Wait.
So when you're on Instagram,
filters.
Let me explain.
I don't know.
Right,
I know
okay,
Snapchat.
Here we go. Okay. So when you're on Instagram and you upload a photo, you can use like a little editing
tool.
tool.
Sepia tone is
yes, that's exactly right. So the name sepia isn't on here, but it's one of those.
But is it really or is that because Juno's not a filter? Like if you go into Photoshop,
Juno is the name of a filter on Instagram. Yes, I know it's also a place in Alaska too.
No, and it's where we're
Oh, that's where we are right now too.
Yeah. I actually love the name Juno, by the way.
Really?
Yes, I do. But I don't think that's if you go into Photoshop right now, it doesn't say Lux.
But if you go into Instagram on Instagram's editing tool,
I'm sure
it's one of the filters.
the point I'm saying is like it's not the actual.
No,
I don't think,
no, of
and I'm not a
course not.
photographer, but it may be called Juno or Lux or something. But I think those are very marketable names. But go ahead. I'm getting old again.
Instagram. This is your Yenta time. Instagram-inspired names jumped in popularity this year, marking
my God, what's wrong with
the
people?
first time technology has had a major influence on baby naming. Other filters that have started to trend in the name department: Willow, Kelvin, Valencia, and Ludwig.
What are those?
Those are other names of filters you can edit your photos with on Instagram.
Now, Willow-
I know that Willow is also a name. I know Valencia is
Wait,
also.
did you know that Willow was a movie from the 1980s?
Really?
Oh my God, you're so
I don't
young.
know.
It was about this little. Can we say dwarfs or what? Midgets? What are
Little
they?
people?
Little people. I apologize.
Well, you already said them all. So.
I'm just gonna offend everybody. But it was actually he's a little person actor.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Willow. And it was all about like this
Little person.
It's kind of like
Oh.
I don't know. Is it mean to call it like kind of it's like The Hobbit? Is maybe like it's not had nothing to do with The Hobbit, but it was like these little people,
Oh,
very
okay.
adventurous types of things.
Cool.
Yes.
I'm not touching this topic.
Yeah. It's fine. What's the other name? I'm just gonna Willow.
Ludwig,
Ludwig.
Valencia, which is a place in Spain. I know
And I'm
somebody
sure
with the
there's a
last
ton
name.
of neighborhoods called Valencia.
Yeah,
too.
of course. And Kelvin, like Kevin with an L. Kelvin.
Kelvin.
Which isn't even a
Isn't
good
that
filter on
that's a
Instagram.
Oh my God, I can't believe we're talking. Isn't that a degree? Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kelvins, right?
So those are names that are people. Other names that are popular are unisex names. And the most popular ones are Maxwell.
Wait, is everything you're telling me Instagram?
No. Now
Okay.
we're like, no.
Okay.
Okay. So we're leaving
I can calm
Instagram.
down.
We're
Okay,
leaving
good.
Instagram behind.
'Cause I just
And
want
now
to
we're
reach out
going
to those parents and slap them.
now we're going to another popular category, because this is all about, in this day and age, people are really going for unique names.
This is what's wrong with millennials.
Gender neutral names are really popular in 2015.
Well, Noah could be gender neutral.
Exactly. Noah is
Slap
a good
myself.
one. Maxwell, Wyatt, Piper,
Like-
Riley, Carter, Lincoln, and Carson. And then this is
I think 2 or 3 of those live on my street. No, I'm not kidding.
right. They're really popular. I know somebody that had a baby recently this year and named him Lincoln. Here, another category of names that's really popular are quote, quote, royal names. Duchess,
Oh my.
Reign,
That's kind of wait. R-E-I-G-N.
Reign.
Rain's
That's
kinda,
what the Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick named their most recent baby.
Next.
See, you thought that was cool.
Next.
You thought something
no,
Kardashian
Rain,
did was cool.
R-A-I-N. I thought was cool, like Rain Wilson, but whatever. Just keep
So
going.
Duchess, Reign, Sultan, and Princess.
What are we doing to that? Like when they grow up, they're
Like
literally going to
Sultan
think
Carney.
they're literally going to think that they are the biggest, baddest destroyers of the world.
Another category are celestial names. Jupiter,
I like
Sunny, and Soleil. I know somebody named Soleil. Interesting,
Sunny's
right?
not. Sunny's like an old one.
Yeah. All right. So, and now the most popular. So that was like where they saw the trends growing. But the number one most popular name for boys in 2015,
Is
Jackson.
okay.
The
Not
number
terrible.
one most popular name for girls is Sophia.
Really?
And they both seem so classic, right?
They do, yeah.
Which is so interesting that they're talking about all of these.
Because there's
names.
still some, people with level.
There's
10s.
outliers. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Thank God.
God.
So yeah, that is what's going on in the world with people having
That's
babies
going on
this
with the
year.
world today. Yeah. So there's no
Here's
more,
what's
What happened
happening.
to like John and
No, not as
Jonathan
popular.
and Jake?
Not as popular
A popular
anymore.
name like Jake, like me. I was the only Jake in my.
Are you Jacob?
I'm Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob.
Jacob.
But I was the only Jake or Jacob in my like elementary, like from kindergarten through 8th grade, and that was cool. I loved it. I was like the only Jake. We
Oh,
had a
I'm
lot-
like I know a
we had a lot
million
of Megans.
Megans. Yeah.
Um,
and they're all spelled different
And
too.
then even in high school, I don't think that there was any other Jacob. I loved it.
How can that be?
I loved it. But now it's pretty popular because I'm a pretty popular dude, and so
Mm-hmm.
everybody's naming their kids after me. No, but I like that it was when I was growing up. It was I don't take much stock on it now, but I do like that there are some Noahs and around.
More boy than girl with
Yeah,
an
but
H.
With an H, yeah.
Mhm.
But we always like to say, oh, it's
Should have
N-O-A.
been
So
an
we're
A.
one of those weird
You are
people.
one of those yuppie couples.
If you were to tell me that, Noah was like a sepia tone or something in Instagram.
I was hoping. Perfect segue for our
Final.
next and final topic. The Facebook CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, and his wife, Priscilla Chan, they just had a baby on Tuesday, 2 days ago. And they named her Max, interestingly enough.
Not Maxwell, just Max.
Well, it just says Max.
Okay.
So this is actually really cool.
And that does it for us, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations. You're just like Mark Zuckerberg. So he wrote.
We should start doing birthday too. It's your birthday. Like local radio. It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
So he and his wife. It's actually really cool. If you guys are on Facebook, you should search Mark Zuckerberg. He has an open Facebook profile. You might not have heard of him. So he wrote a whole letter, and he just calls her in the letter. He just says Max is her name. He wrote an open letter as a Facebook status to his daughter, talking about how she embodies, their hopes and dreams for the future and all of that, and how he feels that the way technology in the world is going, that, her generation has this job to, advance technology and cure disease, but not just, cure disease, but look at like treating people who are sick more so than treating people once they have the disease. And they have decided that they are going to donate 99% of all of their shares, all of their worth to charity. That's $45 billion.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to be left with $450 million. So he's obviously not going to be, starving, but that's giving away a lot of money. That's absolutely phenomenal.
Isn't it nice to think? Yeah, I know what you're going to do here. I was going to say, isn't it nice though when you see somebody that's super charitable, that's very wealthy? Now you're going to say the thing that
tell me what
skeptics.
I'm going to say. Let's tell me what I'm saying.
That he's donating it to his own initiative, the Zuckerberg Chan Initiative, LLC.
That's fine. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, is it a business move for him? I wouldn't say 100% yes. Like, I'm not like one of those crazy people. Here's where I actually have a little bit of problem with, and it kind of goes back to what he started.
Here comes my Jewish grandfather
which
again.
Which is, people taking selfies. It's just,
You think it's self-serving?
No, he's giving away $45 billion. So I'm just going to pick at one little thing.
Okay.
Which is someone I was always taught growing up. Which you're going to do something like nice. Like,
don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it, right? Here's what, and this goes into the Black Friday sale for REI. Remember? They said, we're closing our doors.
And they posted it everywhere.
And they posted everywhere. All their people had to post it, so people were actually working extra to post all this stuff of, hey, look at us, we're not doing this. It's kind of like I'm going to go off on another. I love ending like this. So I grew up and I loved, before OAR was my favorite band, I was heavily into punk rock, really, really punk rock music. And one of the bands was Social Distortion. And Mike Ness is just follow me on the story, right? Follow me on the story.
Looking at you where's this going?
So Mike Ness is tattooed head to toe.
Okay.
Head to toe. He's got teardrops and everything. He is the epitome of punk music. You look, Mike Ness, punk music. I mean, there he is. It's awesome music. I still love it, right? And he was being interviewed by somebody, and somebody said, I see that you're all covered in tattoos and everything. And Mike Ness is now 55 or something, maybe in his 50s, and he's got kids and stuff like that. And he says, I see that you got all these tattoos. What do you think about everybody in their tattoos that are coming out? They're just talking about tattoos. And Mike Ness, it was so cool. And I use this so much in life now, maybe just because I'm a wuss, but he said, he's like, some of the tattoos are, pretty cool and stuff like that. But, it's kind of punk rock not to have any tattoos now. And I was like, yes, somebody's funny. Speaking out against it. So it kind of related to with it's like when people get tattoos, come look at my tattoo. You're supposed to get it for yourself. If you're going to do something nice, you don't have to call attention to it. Right. And everything he did was great. I think that's absolutely awesome. But why post that as a Facebook post? I know that's his company and everything like that, but I'm not going to toot my own horn, but Alternative Daily, we didn't work on Thursday or Friday. We actually did not do Black Friday sales because I just didn't want to push for that type of things. But we don't advertise it. You just do it, right? And you do it I didn't do it for the audience. I did it for the people that worked for me. And the same thing, he shouldn't do it. He should do it for his daughter, and everything he's doing is for the right thing. But just by putting it out there. Now, I don't know if he had to put it out there, I think, from SEC filings, and you have to make it known, but he didn't have to do it as a Facebook post. It's like me saying, look
how great I am. Look how charitable
it's the end of December, and I have a lot of money in the bank account. I'm going to donate it to these charities. Everybody like it, and share it. And I'm sure it's got so many likes and shares and stuff. It's so good. I get it, but I just hate how people have to share with what they're doing and just say, look at this. Look at this.
Okay, so then to end on something positive, it just...
No, I think it is positive.
No. I mean, this is actually really cool. I just read about this last night. Just super random, interesting fact. Elizabeth Taylor, the actor and philanthropist, former, I mean, obviously she passed away a few years ago.
Liz.
So it just came out, and she's been, deceased for a while now. It just came out that they found out that in her home back in the 1980s, she was running like this underground illegal distribution of medicine and vaccinations for people that had HIV and AIDS.
Oh, really?
Yes. It just have you ever heard of the movie or seen the movie The Dallas Buyers Club?
No.
It's an amazing movie.
I don't watch movies.
And it sort of deals with this.
Just the beach.
It sort of deals with this whole, like in the 80s when AIDS was coming out, the epidemic, and how people had a hard time. They had to go to Mexico and all of that. It just came out last night, and you can look this up online. Elizabeth Taylor was like running this illegal underground, helping people get these vaccinations and things, and nobody knew about it, and it was never publicized, and they just recently discovered it.
There's something about
that's cool. There's
something about it just tasting a little sweeter and it being a little bit better when you just don't have to share it, right? And I think that's how we should all live life.
Okay.
I think it's absolutely excellent what he's doing, and I agree with everything he said he's doing. He's actually a pretty good dude. Wears the same shirt just like I do.
You're just like Mark Zuckerberg.
I'm not saying that, but I just
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
There you go.
There we go. What a way to end it. All right. Well, if you like this podcast and you want to listen to more of them, you can find us on iTunes. We are also on SoundCloud and thealternativedaily.com. Connect with us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest.
Yes. And if you want coffee, where do you go?
thealternativedaily.com/coffee. And definitely pick up a bag of Lucy's Brew because it is awesome. I'm wired right now.
It's so good.
And it's fair trade.
It's fair trade. It's organic, shade grown, and made to roasted to
order. It's not just sitting on a shelf somewhere getting stale.
Yeah. I shot a video for it last week that you were the producer of.
That's right.
And how long did it take me, Megan, to do 1 minute?
5 minutes.
It took about an hour and 15 minutes for me to do it.
It was the easiest day of work I've ever had. Thanks, guys, so much for listening.
Everybody, thank you very much, and have a wonderful, wonderful
And we
week.
will be back out here again next week. We better be.
Yeah, you keep lying tonight.
No, we will be.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
You usually clap at the end.
I know.
That's your cue to clap.